Nobody ever expects the guy everyone ignores to be the one who changes the outcome. That's the funny part. When people decide who you are based on how you look where you live, how tired you seem, they stop paying attention. And when nobody's watching, that's when things get dangerous for them. I didn't know that yet, not that night, not when I was just trying to survive, but looking back now, yeah, that was the moment everything started moving. My name is Marcus Reed. At least that's the name I go by now. Back then, I was just another broke dad living on the edge of a dying town called Briar Hollow, a place people passed through without slowing down. I lived in a beat-up trailer with thin walls, a leaky roof, and a heater that only worked when it felt like it. Every morning started before sunrise, not because I was motivated, but because anxiety doesn't let you sleep in. My daughter Lila was 8 years old, sharp as a tack quiet, in that way kids get when they've learned early not to ask for too much. I used to watch her sleep before heading out thinking how unfair it was that a kid that smart had to grow up worrying about bills and bullies instead of bikes and cartoons. That morning felt like every other one. Cold air, instant coffee job listing circled in a pen that barely worked. Mechanic needed certified only. That word, certified, followed me like a shadow. I had the skills, the experience, the instincts you can't teach, but I didn't have the right people vouching for me anymore. People don't forget when you embarrass them publicly, especially corporations, especially rich ones. I walked Lila to school, gave her the same pep talk I always did, head up, eyes forward. Don't let anyone decide who you are for you. She nodded, smiled that half-smile kids use when they don't fully believe you but want to. As I turned away, I saw a group of kids laughing at her shoes taped at the toe, and something in my chest twisted. I wanted to turn back, say something, do something, but I knew it wouldn't help. Not yet. That night, the storm rolled in hard. Rain, pounding metal wind, howling like it had a grudge. The power went out halfway through dinner beans and rice again. I was on the roof trying to secure a tarp when I heard a horn, faint but steady, cutting through the noise. I froze. Part of me wanted to ignore it. I was soaked, exhausted, angry at the world. But the horn sounded again, desperate this time, and something older than logic kicked in. You know what I mean? That voice that says you're not done being useful yet. I followed the sound down an old service road near the woods and found a luxury SUV tilted into a ditch. Headlights, blazing wheels, spinning uselessly. Inside was a woman, maybe mid-30s, clearly not, from Briar Hollow hair ruined by rain fear written all over her face. When she saw me, she locked the doors. I don't blame her. Big black guy, middle of nowhere, storm raging. I raised my hands and shouted over the rain that I lived nearby and could help. She hesitated, then cracked the window. My car just died, she said, voice shaking. I took a shortcut. I glanced under the hood and almost laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was obvious. A faulty sensor line, loose ECU connection. Something a dealership would overthink for days. I fixed it with electrical tape and a spare connector I kept in my pocket habit from better days. Told her to try it. The engine came alive, smooth as silk. She stared at me like I'd pulled a rabbit out of a hat. How did you do that? She asked. I shrugged. Cars talk. Most people don't listen. She offered me money. I said no. I didn't even tell her my last name. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. The next morning, Lila shook me awake. Dad, there are black cars outside. Like, a lot of them. I looked out and felt my stomach drop. A line of glossy SUVs, men in suits, radios, earpieces, the whole movie setup. And then she stepped out. The woman from the storm, only now she looked untouchable. Tailored suit, perfect posture, confidence like armor. Her name was Evelyn Cross, CEO of Crossway Dynamics. She thanked me for fixing her car, then got straight to it. She wanted me to consult. Big money. Temporary relocation. Housing included. I laughed a short, bitter sound and told her she had the wrong guy. She smiled like she expected that. Said one meeting wouldn't hurt. I said no, again. Then Lila peeked out from behind me and asked if the cars were for her dad. Evelyn looked at her and softened just a little. Your father is very talented, she said. That's when I felt it. The hook. Against my better judgment, I agreed to one meeting. Crossway's facility was massive glass and steel security everywhere. They handed me schematics, watched me like hawks. I saw the problems, immediately designed flaws hidden under complexity. I corrected them without thinking, instincts taking over. The room went silent. One engineer whispered, "That took us 6 weeks." I asked the question that made the air change. "What is this engine really for?" No one answered. Later, a woman named Nora pulled me aside. She was an engineer, too tired, eyes sharp, mind. She told me the truth. The engine wasn't for vehicles. It was for autonomous unit surveillance platforms, crowd control, domestic use. I felt sick. Then my phone buzzed. A text from Lila. "Dad, a man was watching me at school." That's when I understood. I wasn't the asset. She was. I tried to walk. They pushed back. Contracts, threats wrapped in polite language. That night, my trailer was broken into. Nothing stolen, just searched. A message. "We know where you live." With help from Nora and an intern who didn't like what he was seeing, we leaked what we could and ran. Safe houses, burner phones, always moving. Lila learned fast, too fast. Codes, exits, silence. One night, during a chase through the city, she did something I'll never forget. She hijacked a public display using a tablet she shouldn't have known how to use and broadcast part of the files. The world saw enough to start asking questions. Crossway fell apart fast after that. Investigations, hearings, resignations. Evelyn disappeared. But the tech didn't. Other companies circled. Same machine, new names. That's when Lila asked a question that changed everything. What if everyone had it, she said. Then no one could use it to control people. We stripped the design, removed the weaponization, released it open source. Communities used it for power. Water hospitals. Corporations screamed. Governments panicked. Too late. Years later, we live quietly. I run a small shop. Lila teaches kids how machines work and why ethics matter more than profit. People still argue about whether we did the right thing. Some say we unleashed something dangerous. Others say we saved lives. So here's my question to you. If you were invisible, ignored, underestimated, and suddenly handed the power to change things, would you play by the rules that broke you, or would you rewrite them? Let me know what you think. Because stories like this don't end when the screen goes black. They keep going in the choices we make every day.